That said, obviously, throughout your life, you've come into situations where you've had to make those types of transitions, those types of changes. How about you share what you did? How did you get past? How did you get out of your own way? I guess
Mhm.
is a good way to say it. To make
Career
those
wise
changes.
or personally?
Whatever you want to share, either one.
Sure,
Either.
sure. Sure. We'll go. The easy one is career wise because
Okay.
one of the blessings, I guess, in my life is that I was actually born into a family where there were lawyers. There were other lawyers, and the lawyers had mentors who were older lawyers. And so, in career settings, really just making sure that I worked hard, but also that I got to know um, my mentors. Also got to know my colleagues and actually spent time with them so that as everybody transitioned into different firms, or some of them went to different cities and went in-house, became in-house counsel, um, we all were able to help each other. So uh, the career transitions really came about because I took the time to formulate uh, relationships with other people, and so that made the changes easier, and
Okay.
it also allowed for other opportunities because I always try to make sure that I was in places where I could hear about those opportunities and I could share the opportunities that I knew um, really weren't for me with other people. So it wasn't just a matter of me taking from them, but always trying to make sure that I could bring something to the table to help other people. Personally, wow, personally, let's see. I didn't share too much about my personal life, but I'm a mom. I am a mom of adopted baby. She is now a sophomore at Prairie A&M University. I am divorced, so I can tell you a little bit about that transition. I went through a divorce. I don't know if y'all remember the 2008 financial crisis, but I
Yes.
went through a divorce shortly after that. And I can tell you that I had an opportunity to amass quite a bit of money. And then in 2008, lost everything. Lost everything. And then soon thereafter, found myself going through a divorce. And when I tell you that I was like one of those little girls that just knew I would get married and I'd have a family and have this house and I'd have parties with my friends. And I always had that vision of my life. And honestly, it didn't turn out that way. It didn't turn. I got married, had that wedding, just everything. It's just truly a beautiful, beautiful guy. But the crash happened. We lost everything. Found myself getting a divorce shortly thereafter. Went back to working overseas a lot, coming back into town. That talk about a transition because my mom
Mm.
was helping me. He was, of course, the dad of my daughter was very active, and my mom also helped us raise my daughter when I had to travel a lot. But I also found myself in a situation that I just never ever imagined. Right,
Mm. Mhm.
and I tell you, one of the things that really helped me cope through that, a few things. One, God, of course, um, my family, friends, um, and then really counseling.
Mhm.
People don't talk about that enough, but therapy, uh, really trying to figure out why this happened. I'm a big thing. If I can't control an environment, I want to understand it. So that's
Mhm.
when you talk about letting things go. That I always want to understand why something happened. Sometimes you really can't ever get to that point. You drive yourself crazy trying to understand. But
Mhm.
um, but counseling and really just taking time to be alone. Sometimes we go through things and we try
Mm.
to keep our minds busy or try to keep so many people around us that we don't have to think about what we're experiencing. And if we don't think about it and we don't experience it, then we don't have to work through it. We can kind of ignore it. And really going through that. Counseling helped a lot. And then after that, after the divorce, a few months later, that's when I found out I had leukemia.
Wow.
So leukemia was the main focus for a long, long time. The leukemia and recovery, excuse me, the recovery um, was the focus. So really, I think without God, without my family, without my friends. And I'll tell you, the Willow Ridge friends, uh, Southwestern University friends, and then best friends from law school. Uh, Without those, I don't think I would be here today,
Yeah.
because literally, though, that's what really kept me going and kept me lifted up. So if I can share anything else with people, it would be, make sure you stay connected. Don't isolate yourself. We're all in this world. We're all going through something. If you meet somebody that's not going through something, they just came out of something, stay
Mhm.
connected with people. I know sometimes people are like, oh, I don't like people. I don't like, that's fine to be, but stay connected with, if you like gardening, get into a gardening group. If you like, a church, become active, get to know people. If you like running, go run, join a running club. But we all need each other. And when we isolate ourselves, we really do ourselves a disservice, because we're all connected.
Mhm.
So I'm
Mhm.
not saying you have to go out and know a whole bunch of people and all, but whatever your interests are, stay connected with people that have that similar interest. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. You said a whole lot in that. So some things that I noted, obviously having the strength and the courage, the perseverance to pick yourself up, and because when you have, that sequence of things happen, the crash and financial piece, and then the marriage and the end of that, and then the sickness, and that gets lumped on. It puts you in that mind space of, well, I quit. I throw my
mhm,
hands up and I give up. But having that perseverance to pick yourself up, I think, is a key component that people need to really focus on and say, you're blessed with another day, make the best of it, right? So it's
mhm,
to pick yourself up. And then the mental health thing, you brought that up. And that's one thing that Bridget and I, when we're doing a lot of our podcasts, we talk about that a lot, that there used to be some shame around that,
mhm.
and something you didn't want to talk about. But it's
Yeah,
key. It's a very important thing that you
very
take
important.
care of, and
Mhm,
open and honest about your challenges and what may be a struggle for your mental health. And as you said,
mhm,
see a professional, see a counselor, whoever that might be, to help guide you through that, as well as you mentioned, being connected to friends, family, whoever else it might be, that truly have your best interest at heart. And I
mhm.
say that because
Yep,
it's a key piece too,
yep.
is you want those that are gonna uplift you, not those
Mhm,
that want to pull you back down, right?
mhm.
That's a
Exactly.
big part of it. And then the last thing that I want to say that you also touched on, and that was, sometimes it's just a matter of being still.
Mhm,
We always feel like we have to do,
mhm,
but sometimes you actually just need to take some breaths, take some time, and
mhm.
just be still, right?
Right.
r- that strengthens you. It gives you your chance to recoup and get some energy back. Then you can go about running 100 miles an hour again.
Mhm,
But understanding that, yeah, it's okay sometimes to just be still and then start to run. And I think that those are key
mhm,
components. Yeah,
mhm,
absolutely.
mhm.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because that was a lot to unpack, and I think that really will help our audience to reflect on, either where they've been, where they are today, or maybe where they want to go.
Yeah, I hope
So,
so.